failure, so I can't imagine what could possibly go wrong at Fnatic trying to do that.
I think they just feel bad, you know? They just feel bad for the guy, so...
Yeah, they saw the social media outrage. We're like, actually,
good.
He's still here. There's a chance.
We might bring him back to the major.
We could actually do it.
Before the major is like, actually, we're not bringing him back. Then it's even worse.
I'm doing
denied
that
twice.
Gentlemen, I shall cut, well, at least us in the studio off and throw it over officially to Neokai and Script, because this one is ready to go.
Hell yeah. Here we go. This is what we're here for, of course. Dust 2, good to get a nice breadth of maps in the BO1 here on the A stream. So we'll take a little bit of Dust 2. I think as well, for me, it feels like quite a nice map when you do have the stand-ins, when you do have zero practice, apparently, with said stand-in. I think Dust 2, pretty blanket. Everybody knows how it works. Shouldn't need too much of said practice. So we'll find out. We'll find out as it unravels, but I think it's a good map for both teams here.
Yeah, I think similar with like Mirage, for example, you can just play it like a pug, ultimately. And this is where kind of come back to what I was saying a little bit earlier to the boys in the desk, was just, you know, this could be a little loose, all things considered. And we're flying up towards long early. Hades going to tuck himself in towards Gandalf. He has a lot of support here as well as they're trying to scale up. And it's Krasnal takes first contact and the first fight, and he nets himself 3 quick kills. Okay, the stand-in buff for Krasnal has netted him 3 kills and left Youngster all alone. That was so quick.
Yeah, he's got a Glock in one hand, the for sale sign in the other, I think, with a round like that. Absolutely brilliant stuff from him. Every shot lands. Youngster trying to make something happen here, but of course, the round will be over if he can take a kill away with him. Kill bonus, hold on to the Julies, actually, and the armor. He has a pretty decent force buy setup on the cards, but it is just the one for him. Yeah, before the round even gets going, Bait have got it under wraps, so looking really good off the back of Krasnal. We'll see now how things pan out.
How does a Cynthia walk away with the MVP there, by the way?
Yeah, that's kind of
round MVP. That, just because he plants, you really hate to see it. But no, Krasnal's a solo. He gets dinked as well before he even takes the fight. So he's low and then sharp. Look at these again. Oh, man. The isolation of fights. So well done. And what a way to start as well for Bait. Heroic. They're going to go for the force buy. They don't bring a lot to the table, so hopes on Youngster and that FAMAS to do something here. But Bait should be able to get a decent start here on the T side. I mean, we do sort of need a pretty good T side as well. If this is losing, if both sides, well, I'm not too sure about Bait, but, you know, Heroic having practice, we were kind of discussing, if it is going to be losing a bit puggy, you want a big T side.
Flashing coming. Oh, from the T side, actually.
Oh.
The kill goes the way of the CTs. Works out very, very nicely for them. They get some information on the contact flash as well. So all of a sudden, a beneficial spot to be in. Oh, the leg spotted. And Zed got to get this right. But Mac 10 might come away with a couple, actually. He does get traded, thankfully. 5-7 on high. A great position for him. FAMAS retrieved, but lost as quickly as it was. Nilo with a big kill to keep this man advantage alive. Head trick trying to clutch things up. The cheeky little fake out to spot that ramp player, but he just was not ready. Thought there was nobody there. Thought he was ahead of it, perhaps. And Heroic net the force.
Yeah, what a round to scout back as well. Really, really well done. That first shot that, I guess, goes wrong for Bait as they're swinging in towards short. The flash that comes over, the flash is really good. They just don't expect there to be essentially like a triple setup. There's 2 players up close, 1 deep who was setting up for a CT flash. But too many bodies, bit of a deer in headlight moment as well. Didn't exactly know where to look. So, all things is it's a fantastic round to be taken back and kind of scalping away from Bait. And it puts them in a really awkward financial kind of position. They have to force because of double eco, but again, what they bring to the table isn't exactly great. MPL with a scout and a few upgraded pistols. So they're really hoping that MPL can soften up a few people here, make life a little easier for the upgrades. But I mean, double AK to work with, salvage for the CT side. It's a fantastic spot that they're in.
Oh, good timing. Not quite as much damage as I was expecting, actually, from Nilo. The nade as well. on the same player all this damage, though, I suppose, which certainly could help net that first kill. It has slowed down as Bait gain some short control, but not quite enough to really do anything with.
Could be a big nade here. It is. MPL left solo, and Hedrick not exactly doing great off the back of that one. 45 seconds. And a very slow scale here by Bait. They're going to start to commit now as the smoke comes down. A Molotov behind it to try and keep them at bay. And it is going to continue to buy some time if they want to go for late rotations. Hades also has an incendiary to work with too. Dropping in towards shores, they started to move their way forward. Flashes it through from ramp. One, which he avoids. The second, he can't. They try to get up close. Hades gets two before he falls.
Any more? The answer is no. xCloud looking crisp on his retrieved AK. Could be very deadly. They cannot get that out of his hands anytime soon. But yeah, Bait not really delivering too much. You don't expect too much. But all the same, I think they would have liked to return on the investment, get the bomb plant, something along those lines. Heroic have very quickly turned this dial up to 11, looking super dominant in that round. So, I don't know, man. It's not the best start for Bait, honestly.
No, it's not. Little fly. It's just losing that force buy round that really kills all the efforts of slight momentum they were building up. Down up close, simple for Hades. An opportunity to farm some cash as well as he gets a second. It's a T-Flash that comes in towards lower, so it's not going to be a bit careful. Makes a meal of it. TYLOO gets the kill. More for Hades, though, so his MP9 is printing money now. That's a consolation for Alex, but that's all it is. 3-1. So now's the real true test for Heroic. It's all well and good they found these last couple of rounds where they've been, you know, relatively solid, all things considered, but it's the full buy coming through for Bait now. And this is the kind of the true indication of what we're going to see out from Bait. They got a nice pistol. Crafts are not clean, don't get me wrong, but is that replicable as a whole? No, ultimately. So we've got to start to prove to ourselves in these gun rounds.
Quick out long here. Could be deadly, and it is. Really well found off the back of the spawn. They look to chase as well. Very nearly get away with another. Solid find, solid control. Meanwhile, MPL predicted doesn't quite get the kill, and he will go down on the chase. So a pretty big deal for Heroic to get themselves back in the round.
It's also just one of these things where with a smoke down on that side of tunnel, if you're Bait, you have to assume that upper B tunnels is just lost. There's no chance of getting in there. We basically have to commit towards A unless we go for a very late playthrough mid to B. Minute to work with. Numbers favor that Bait as well. Hades AWP, XR playing up towards car, but the only issue with this car angle, it's traditionally very one and done. He's got to have a supporting element, but no one's close enough really to be of any help. It's not exactly the greatest angle to play here. He should get traded off the one. There's the first, but they don't. They overlook his. So XR does get away with a second. And Hades will play up off this smoke as well with the AWP. Can't hit the first shot, but falls away and stays alive.
Oh, awkward Molotov. Bomb potentially could have gone down in that small window, and you see the effect that it has now. It's all going to be down to Hedrick. Ah, man, I don't know. This once looked good to me, now not so much. He's got a lot of guesswork. Gets aggressive, takes the AWP down. Hades maybe moving a little early, a little quick. Youngster's very low. He needs a crisp headshot if he's to take this one. And as yet, he can't find it. Caught with nade in hand. Desperate for ideas. A big move from Hedrick there to get Bait back on the board.
It's so bold as well. That swing on towards Hades, he's not exactly going quiet about it in the 1 versus 2. He's flying into that fight on towards Hades and completely catches him off guard. Doesn't expect that level of aggression. And then with Youngster being so low, the slight playing of time and playing around the box, unfortunately for Youngster, that was next to impossible to win. Did have Utah, but didn't get time to throw it. So really, really well done from Bait. Well, in particular from Hedrick. It's great that he stepped up in that way. Of course, AWP recover 2 is always going to help, especially financially, where it's an AWP AK and then Galil's to round out the buy. So, not flush with cash. on that T side. Heroic still have a chance to make life a bit awkward. A tag with that molly. They don't seem to react to it, but excl was up close.
Looks like another short move here for the bait side of things. Making a bit of noise now. There's no over peaks from Heroic. They don't want to give away that first kill unless they absolutely need to. So with a minute left on the clock, utility now comes out from bait themselves. They don't have a smoke to guard it off. They don't necessarily have the best eyes towards short either. It is going to be a drop down in towards CT. Well read, well predicted, so it's an easy kill, and now the game is perhaps given away. They're moving through this mid-smoke. Really well read round from Heroic, and I think they will absolutely get this in the bag. They used their utility perfectly. They have seen this round. They have predicted this round, and it pays off.
Lindsay will fall to a Cynthia, but there's nothing you can do. You probably want to die as well, if you're being honest. You prefer a bit of the loss bonus than saving the Galil, I guess, but looks like he can opt for the latter. Saving will be the case if he can. But Heroic, like you said, it's such a fantastic round for them. They use the util to isolate fights and give themselves advantages. And for bait, it is quite sloppy, right? They're swinging in one by one, and these individual fights they're taking just don't fall in their favor, putting a lot up to chance, a lot up to 50-50s. And this is bait, I think, as well, right? You know, even when they have the full lineup and Kentazor's in the side, we're going to look to them and how they've played in the past, and it's maybe in a similar fashion to what we were talking about in the opening game of the day. It is a live and die by the sword a little bit with bait. When things don't work out, they really don't work out. And then when they can find form and they snowball, they're really difficult to stop, especially in kind of the tier 2 and the tier 1.5. But the issue is, right now, against Heroic, it's just not phasing them.
Yeah, Snowball has not gotten going just yet. Back into the action, though, after a brief timeout. I think kind of important, again, as you say, the nature of the team, to just set them on the right path, and maybe they are at the moment skewing from that and a little too chatty, a little too nervous for this opening game. Hades will catch the spawn peak as Krass now goes down. excl with a good nade here as well. Softens up a good number of the players on that bait side of things. So feeling pretty confident from what we can see that Heroic should get this one. No sweat off their back.
PL up close to the Glock. He might get a consolation of catching excl off guard. He's just not expected to be here. Not this early at the very least. Unfortunately, there's no real reason for excl to go pushing in towards short, to be honest. That angle on towards ledge is just so strong. Hades at range, catches head trick. But excl to fall off, and MPL would have heard that. So we can start moving his way forward, and he does. He's just taking pop shots at Hades. A bit of a pea shooter against armor, so not exactly doing loads of damage, but just being a nuisance. excl to reclaim his position, and behind that smoke as well, he should be able to shut this down with ease. That's the bomb as well. Last round of Ascentia with that save Galil. Also falling flat. Easy for excl as Heroic find 5.
And look very good while doing so. It's a pretty good omen for the rest of this half if they're able to keep tapping into that. Denying bomb plants pretty successfully now as well. So yeah, really looking good. I'm kind of worried about Heroic twofold. There's this whole stand-in thing going on, of course, but just a serious drop-off from this team. Yeah. The past 6 months have been very rough.
That's the minus Tanir effect in a way, right? But you can't see blood on the wall, I think a little bit before that too. But no, I do think you're right. I mean, it is a really interesting time for Heroic, especially no major either. It's tough to be motivated in a way, right?
Very true. Oh, Krass now. Clean find from him. Maybe bait are getting themselves back into proceedings here. Big tag, but not the kill that they desperately need. Heroic have got to crack the nut if they are to keep this round alive. Youngster. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, he does get one. He definitely needed to get one from a position like that, but it does not look pretty. Hades cannot catch anyone else off. He's going to be smoked from B now as well. Yeah, pretty heavily split. There's always potential if you can isolate the 1v1s, but I don't think that's quite what LNZ wanted. Hades now is trapped. There is only one way out, and it is to battle, but Krasnal denies him the chance at anything in this round.
He's typing immediately.
Yeah.
He got straight onto the typing there. I think that might be a bit of a consistent thing between those two as well. It could be worth just keeping an eye on the head-to-head between those two, just for the love of the game. It's a good round to be taken for Bait, especially because, I mean, these rounds have looked a little flat. And I wouldn't even say that was a fantastic round by Bait. It's not exactly like it's the most meticulously called one, but they make it work. It's a little scrappy, but sometimes you need a bit of chaos to sort of start finding a bit of form and a round in your favor. And I think it is a round that they can sort of try and work with. Take a bit of control, play as a pack, and hope that is enough. Hades boosted up, missed shot. Lower control in towards short can now be taken and relinquished away from Heroic. And Lindsay's up close. Very one and done traditionally this angle, but Krasnal's not going to clear it. And unfortunately the trade is an orb, but Lindsay will swing into him, so Headtrick given a freebie.
Oh, big fight. Excl able to hold his line well. The two-piece, so important. Heroic, back to their winning ways, maybe. Alex has got different things to say. Not ready for the second player in on the site, though. Again, a little labored. There's certainly some messier fights here in this game, but Heroic will immediately answer back. Second time they've done that now as well, right? As soon as Bait get around, as soon as they are looking upwards, Heroic shut them down. Yeah,
which is really good to see as well, that they're just not phased by the fact that we lose a round. It's sort of, you brush it off, you go again. Second attack pause taken here by Bait, and another opportunity to get Madden, the coach, on the mic. But yeah, it's quite an interesting time when you look at basically where this Bait side are and how they're playing so far. For the most part, quite flat. It looks like the strat block isn't super developed, but that is also Bait in a nutshell, right? That they don't always have the most depth to them. They can fall back on relying on the individuals, but unfortunately the individuals aren't showing up. MPL's looking pretty flat at 2 and 8 as well. Not what you want to be seeing. Hedrick's had a couple of moments, but he still finds himself at 6 and 7. So it is kind of a tough spot where the heroes aren't stepping up for Bait, and, well, for Heroic, we've seen a few of them. Hades, excl both looking excellent so far. LNZ will be the first to fall. excl's trying to stuck around behind. They try and drop that nade round the corner, but it catches the edge. Still, your two heavy hitters are still alive for Heroic, despite the man disadvantage. It's not panic stations just yet.
Certainly close, though. And they know they have to do something. That's what they're going for here on short. Slow encroachment. More and more information being gained, and maybe starts to confirm a long hit. X-Floud, oh man, has to get this right, and a lot of it is not really down to him. Trying to play the patient game. I think he might be biting a bit too early. Oh, he's seen that smoke come over, but unfortunately MPL was very, very ready for him. So now feels and looks like a really, really good position for this T side to capitalize on. They just have to get through Hades. Molotov will help. It just about spreads to him, so some decent damage. Going to give his position away now as well. The nade, not quite as good, but he's just the last bastion of the defense, really. Trying to get in there quick with the AWP and thin the numbers, thin the herd. It's not worked out for him. I feel like all his teammates are going to go down here. Who the hell's got the knife out? It's Krasnal, of course. That's hilarious.
They should have let him have it.
That is so funny for him.
Yeah.
For Hades, of course. Youngster left to clutch up, not going to happen, and Bait do well.
Oh, yeah. It would have been even funnier if Krasnov actually could have got that knife off. He gets a tag, I think, with it. But for Bait, it's good. We find a round. But coming back to what we've been saying about for this Bait side, it's consistency. We need to get consecutive rounds on the board. Not only to see off this half in a positive way, but actually for this entire map, we need to start finding back-to-back rounds and real form. And that's where you're going to put pressure on Heroic. Because right now, they can just reinvest back in. And for the most part, no issues. Sure, LNZ picks up an MP9, but it's fine. Nilo up close. A lot of reliances, or a lot of, I guess, presence, may I say, has been put on this lower control from both sides. Honestly, smart move. Get out. There's just no point playing behind that molly there.
Yeah, again, Bait having to do a lot of heavy lifting to just even get into lower. So you're keeping them at bay, keeping them slow. Ladies just reacting, but it wasn't a player, unfortunately, so no kill coming in. That reveals the location of the AWP as well, which I feel is somewhat important for Bait to play around. Flash towards mid, no hard peek, however, and they have not moved for quite a while here on this T side.
God, there's no room for error there for Hades at all. That is such a slim margin to work with. He's more concerned about this mid to B split, and it's probably rightly so. CT smoke that comes down. Nilo first contact, and the contact is good. Down goes MPL. He gets in, gets out. Hades will miss a shot. Information gained and a smoke down towards doors will slow down the roll of Bait. But look at the time, 20 seconds. We don't have really a lot of time to be slowed down. What a flash that comes through from LNZ. The MP9 gets a dink as well. Headtrick and Alex left reeling. LNZ at range of an MP9 could do the job here. Less than 10 seconds to get this bomb down. And Ascential, who is one of the healthier players, is caught. Bomb goes down, but the round is won. And they, for the third time now as well, where it's you get a round on the board for Bait and Heroic immediately respond.
Very true. Very true. I think that the retake, nice and easy. Bait, though, as noted, as is obvious, just did not leave themselves enough time. And it causes some panic. They don't look the best selves, I think, that we've seen from this team. They certainly do look disjointed, and I think that's why we have seen a couple of those timeouts fly in and, yeah, just try and set them straight, but doesn't seem to be working. That being said, it kind of is. Heroic are just really effective at shutting them down and responding right now. Big find, though, in the early stages, so may well set Bait for a fifth.
I see. Open up. And a second behind it as well as Nilo's caught by a head trick. And God's work with that AWP. So sure, Bait getting up towards a fifth. It's not a bad T-side by any means. But it's just the fact of how they've got to the scoreline. Still is that conversation that will keep bringing up all the way throughout as it continues, which is just no consistency yet. And this round's far from over, sure. Favored towards Bait, but I'm not going to discount, especially excl, whose current form is looking really solid. And let's see going for a push here. Krasnov holding. Shadow was spotted, but it was too late for LNZ to react. So Alex finds the kill, and they can now scale in towards long. Doesn't really seem like there's too much of a chance here, if you're being completely frank. Heroic down to 2. And exile's alone towards the A site.
Rotation is quick. That's about the only silver lining here, I think. Oh, caught in the back as well. Youngster. Nothing he can do, and of course, no real option to save, but it felt like excl kind of just conceding the round. Turn of the half doesn't look too bad. We're, again, pretty lively.
That happened, same thing earlier in Minibet.
Yeah. It's got the moves, man. It's crazy.
7-5 is where we're at. It's not a bad half for Bait, right? I think it's kind of the main takeaway, but like I said, it's just the way they get those 5 rounds. they get no consistency, no form, no pressure put on towards Heroic in terms of getting back-to-back rounds on the board and starting to scale in towards the game a little bit, snowball as we like to call it. None of that, where Heroic, they did. And Heroic are very good, especially at responding a new angle just before we get underway and towards the second half. But yeah, I need to see a lot more out of Bait. I'm just not sold on the side just yet. It does feel, while the scoreline's not that damning, that Heroic are the side in real control right now. And they do look like they've got a little bit more about them. Despite the no prac, Hades being left sort of on his own a little bit. It's working. The rest of the team can play around the normal setups that they would. Let's see if that translates towards the T side. 7-5. For Bait as well, we're looking for proactivity on that CT side. Try and get in towards their face a little bit. Understand what the executes are looking like before they happen.
Fair bit of utility here for Heroic, so I think they're coming in with quite a firm game plan. Try and clear out lower, clear out short. But there was never any presence there from Bait anyway, so what do they do from here? Seems like a pretty simple short move at the end of the day. And there's only one player directly holding it. I mean, not even all that close, to be honest. Like, yeah, A seems loose for short.
Yeah, you're right. And they come. Smoke that's all CT. They can all drop as well. For the post plant, this is. Bomb planted by Hades, and they're set up now as well. Alex, there could be one on the cards here, but no, Young's other ideas. Gets his kill, upgrades to the USP. Really difficult retake now as well. Got one flash to work with, no kit.
Not ideal. Given a lot of room across to this T side. Keen headshot to open it up, but the response is louder. Heroic will mow them down as they try an entry into that A-bomb site. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling what you're feeling. The lack of a kit, the lack of a defense on the site. The two things don't really go that well together. They just sort of put all their resources into B ultimately and hoped it was a B hit, and then it wasn't a B hit. So now it's like, oh, well, what do we do? And you just gave too much control across, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things as well. Like, I don't even hate the idea of if you want to gamble a site or if you actually want to move around the map as a pack, but you just have to have the kit there because you are going to be called in towards a retake. And yeah, they left life very difficult to work with. So, Heroic up to an 8. Need to break up in that smoke. Alex trying to play behind it. He's just so blind. What a flash by Hades. Eliminates that threat up close towards the doors, and they can start scaling through and towards long. Heroic on this T side, when they're setting the tempo, are looking really quite solid. The scout's got to hit something, and it gets a body shot. Hades will get the kill.
Oh, close from MPL there with those final few bullets. Not quite going to happen. They will back off and grab a save here. So Heroic moves smoothly up to 9. And really start knocking on the door of the victory. Bait are going to have to show us something from the CT side and fast, because it's not looked that good thus far. We're still pretty early. But yeah, this one fizzled out massively. Maybe on an individual level, they're just sort of not showing up in this matchup.
Yeah, we are definitely all seeing that.
Say.
I know, because you always look towards the side and you say, right, sure, the calling style might actually be a little bit loose in it, and it has been loose for Bait. But for the most part, it's worked. But it's because you get the individuals who really do fly. But the problem is, especially when you look towards what's made this side really tick recently, it has been that addition of Kenzazor, right? He's been so important to that rifling core. And it hasn't been what's felt like, you know, at least initially before Kenzazor was picked up, it was very much like MPL has got to shine here. Despite also being the IGL, he's also going to put up or has been putting up the most numbers. But since kind of Kenzie came in, he's really adding a lot of options for MPL to call with, especially on that T side. And we're not seeing it now. And of course, MPL's are showing up 4 and 10 for him, for somebody who, despite calling, generally puts up really good numbers for Bait. Tough old predicament. 9-5. It doesn't feel like there really isn't anything for us to kind of grab onto for Beta and say, this is how we're going to win this match, or this is how we're going to find this comeback. I haven't seen anything yet, which makes me believe that they can. Ooh.
Still works.
It still works,
still
yeah.
Kind of works.
Luckily, I guess.
It's a bit easier to spam over the top of.
Yeah, I can say there's probably a bit of a gap, actually, if you're moving up short. It's worth keeping an eye on.
Well, there's no one really behind it.
Yeah.
So, not going to have too much of an effect. It looks to be a burst out short here if they can make that work for Bait. Flash comes in. There's no one around to receive it, unfortunately, and they might overcompensate having spotted nobody there, so they just have to be careful not to get too giddy with rotating around. That being said, the bomb is slowly moving, or it was slowly moving towards B. There's a few bumps in the road that they have to deal with first.
Double stack it. Alex and Head Trick could be difficult to deal with, but I speak too soon. Head Trick, he gets one, but that's it. The B side opened up, and just nothing that Ascential and MPL can do in this spot. A 2 versus 4 on a retake of the B side of Dust 2, one of the hardest sides statistically to retake in the competitive pool. No chance. Heroic 10-5, double the rounds of Bait in the first side, cracking towards double digits too. It already feels like the beginning of the end. Like I said, there's still nothing really to grab onto for this Bait side to find this belief. How are we going to find a resurgence, chip away at this deficit? I've not seen anything yet, which makes me believe that they can, to be honest. And this is the problem. At least in kind of Baits of old, it's like, right, maybe when things aren't going well, it's still okay, this side can still hit really hard, but not even hitting hard at the moment.
Yeah, it is kind of wild to see. I think by now we would have expected crazy individual play, and they are trying to make them happen. They are trying to force them, but I do think Heroic, a little bit of luck involved, but are just not necessarily around to be on the receiving end of the BS from Bait, as it were. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, of course, is the time. It doesn't help losing out the pistol and then just having your force buy immediately flattened. That certainly doesn't help your momentum and how impressive you look. So maybe the rifle can turn that around and close the gap, but if it doesn't, you now are out of breathing room.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see. Third and final timeout, of course, for Madden just taken. The last time that he can enter into the fray. Well, the game's still going unless we get towards overtime, but that seems like a far cry from what we've seen thus far. Buy back in for that Bait. Galil for Ascential, but everybody else got premium guns, especially that AWP for Head Trick. Didn't look too bad with it on the T side. He's got the right idea. Krasnol's not too far away around that corner. He'd love the kill as well, just for the bit of a rivalry they've got as well.
Hades trained in. Will there be anyone on the business end of that scope? Doesn't look like it. Been smoked off over at B. Head Trick, meanwhile, has his set on middle. As yet pushed away. Really big round, and you can feel that. Heroic, I think, respect their opponent here and want to get this hammered home. Speaking of, though, Head Trick hammers excl out into the mid doors. He will not be seeing the light of day for a little while. Very early and important kill for Bait.
Yeah, super needed. Also, just the fact that it is excl as well. He's been really, really important for Heroic in their successes. A critical piece of this kind of T-side, but just so far across this map. Late towards B is the play. Hades has been here the entire time. He now stays trained whether Krasnol jumps up or not. Will Ascential even be cleared? Well, the first answer is no. And Krasnol now pops head around the corner to catch LNZ. This should be easy, and it is. He lines up Youngster and Hades. And Bait find some success on this CT side. They get around, which is great. But we'll keep saying it until it changes. Harvey, they need to get back-to-back rounds. That's the first step on a road to recovery, which feels very, very long at the moment.
Nice as all round.
Let's go slowly, step by step.
There you
Step
go.
by step.
There you
That
go.
is exactly the right approach.
We like that. Who is this guy?
Step by step. Oh, how's
okay.
that for a step? Nilo, you're stepping in towards next round, fella. I'll see you then.
Okay, I mean, looking good. Bait definitely seem to be bringing their A game to the CT side. The aggression paying off. And in some places, you know, it's over-aggressive. The long peak and the lower peak.
Yeah.
Some might call it crazy, but it works for Bait.
Again, you know, that is just Bait in a nutshell, isn't it? Live and die by the sword a little bit. And when it works, it really does. Flashing towards doors and sending excl out, but MPL unaffected by the util. Gets his, falls back, and now Krasnal can try and reclaim a little bit of space. He's spamming, but he's left so low to the HE. A 2 versus 5. It feels like a next to impossible round for Heroic here unless things go drastically wrong. And MPL going to make sure that is not the case. Catches LNZ, and he's all on the shoulders of the stand-in. Hades, open toe, and he's walking straight to his demise. Alex will see it off. And Bait, finally, get a consecutive round.
See if it keeps happening for them, I suppose. They've got a fair gap to close. Try and get it to work from here, but I mean, as far as rounds go, 2 very clean and dominant going their way, I think is a very, very big deal.
Ones we can actually work upon, right? We can take things from that and look forward and say, you know, like I was saying earlier, we can finally I can grab onto something for Bait and say, okay, this is actually how you go about winning this. And I start well once again. Nice shot by a head trick.
Yeah, always going to be scary if he's getting activated, as he is at the moment. Not expecting anything out of this round from the Heroic side, but if you can really make it nothing at all, don't lose a single player, that would be fantastic. Head trick round with another. He's got cover now as well. Krasnal got to be careful. They are helping each other out quite nicely here in at middle. LNZ, decent chance, but head trick takes him 2. 4 in for the AWPer is a really, really good sign for Bait.
Yeah. Hedrick's looking really quite sharp now. It took him a while to get online, but I think that's just the case for Bait. This is a lot better now. On the CT side, it feels like they've just regained a lot of that confidence. I think it's always quite a big indictment of how good a side is on Dust 2 by how proactive they get on the CT side, how much they like to sort of take a bit of initiative, take a bit of control. And for Bait so far, you're seeing them, they're so confident to fight, right? They're so confident to try and test and see what the setups are looking like. That's a good sign for me. Heroic, bit flustered these last few rounds. See what they can do in response. Good flash, but Krasnal's up close, and he doesn't give a damn. Natal bound round, he looks for a second. He gets the support from MPL up on high. This is an immaculate move in towards mid. Like I was just talking about, proactivity, initiative being taken. This is excellent from Bait. It's taken a while to get here, but now that we've got here, Heroic are struggling.
Hades, desperate to get back in. Thought it was a flash, it wasn't. NPL eliminates the final 2 players. Wow, I mean, not necessarily across the board, but there's been a clear shift in the level for Bait. They look much more comfortable. Individuals looking really good. I mean, yeah, slapping, absolutely slapping on the side of Bait. Heroic with their first TAC pause.
And I'm going to say, as stand-ins go, obviously both doing fine, right? By no issues, but Krasnal looks seamless. It doesn't really seem to be making much of this. I mean, the only difference I'd probably say is that on the T side in particular, Kenzie's a little bit more active in terms of how they set rounds. They do a lot based on what Kenzazor gets up to, but even still, right now, Krasnal looks very, very comfortable. They're playing around and with him. I mean, we kind of heard the inside information from Prof that they've done no Prac or Hades, but it doesn't look like Bait are on Prac. It looks like Krasnal seems at least really comfortable in sort of how he's playing around on the CT side. It's good. I'm liking what I see him. Like you said, it's the for sale sign in the window a little bit, isn't it? For him, potentially. Head trick, he's really come alive. Last sort of 4 rounds or so since the success has come through. Head trick's been an integral part of it. And if MPL can join him, he's getting a moments here and there. If he can start to really find this fire as he usually does, Heroic could be in trouble. I mean, they already are. It's one round game.
Slow moving from Heroic. Looking to end on that B bomb site. Not a lot of utility to get it done, so raw and open fights here. A well-timed smoke, ridiculously well-timed. I think they were about ready to get going. So now, yeah, the question is, do they stick to the plan? Do they change it up slightly? But for now, we all have to wait.
I think it's too late, you know, in a way, right, to kind of commit away. Break open of the smoke, and I think they very quickly realized, Bait, that they've got the only place they basically can be. They have to be in towards tunnels. Krasno, even just one spam, he's going to get a few kills here. There's the first. Attention drawn as well. Sentinel still unchecked, so he gets gifted a freebie. Krasno will fall, but up close here, I was going to say, Sentinel should be okay for another, but a nice second shot by LNZ. Now all for Nilo, but Hedrick at range will not miss those. 10 all tied. And that is now 5 rounds in a row by Bait as well.
Yep.
From going from having no consecutive rounds on the board to 5 in a row, this is Bait who are back alive. This is really solid.
Yeah, and I mean, the kills are kind of nice from Heroic if you really break it down, but they need more than that. They need a bomb plant. They need to really make Bait sweat. You've got 2 players at the end of that round. They were on 16K. You know what I mean? On the CT side, which is just crazy in a game where the scoreline is this close. It just goes to show like how dominant Bait have been in this run of rounds. It's one thing to string them all together. It's an entirely different thing to have basically 3 players on max money. Insane.
Oh, Hedrick. He knows he's pincered here as well, Hedrick. It's really difficult to get out of here, and he won't. Too many people to fight. So he's the first to fall, and it's a pretty big scalp to take if you are Heroic, if you're trying to get this redemption going. Dropping the heavy hitter thus far. Such an unorthodox angle by Alex as well. Most flashes that go out towards long don't really even affect this either, or you can at least turn away from them enough so. But now the gimmick's up, and he is flashed as it's popped through the door. Oh, that's so unfortunate. It's a great angle, but I think he gets a little giddy there to fight initially. Oh my! Krasnal gets to and gets out.
Damn. Bomb going to be seen and dropped as well. So all of a sudden, the round turned upside down. Hades cannot swing fast enough. Their little rivalry continues, but a hell of a round from Krasnal. Ultimately saving it as well for Bait. So really, really big deal now as they will move up to 11.
Yeah, you're spot on. Krasnal absolutely saves it there. Really nice fight from him too. It's looking like it was slipping away, but he just does so well.
Can you flash me long soon? I can after.
Saying sorry as well after that boost angle falling flat. It's fine. I guess all's well that ends well if you win the round. If you lose the round there, it looks a lot worse. 11 to 10. Smoke misses again. Just that, I think a pixel or two too far. I'm right in saying I think it's down if it spills through the door. I think you're just a couple of pixels too low. And a couple of pixels too high and it bounces back off. I know this because I miss it all the time.
There you go.
I'm a pro at missing it. Nilo dumped by the nade. And then seen off by a Sentinel. And here's Krasnal again to step up. He does get dinged though. He's going to tuck his head. He wants to buy some time. He's really desperately trying to. But youngster, patience pays off for him. Difficult spot now. LNZ. Is he going to get cleared? Yes, he will. So numbers favor Bait now on the retake.
Yeah, I think he maybe had to keep that angle a little longer. Let the bomb go down, perhaps.
Yes.
But his hand forced, he felt, could make a big difference. So they get that kill early. They're able to rotate in. The bomb takes a while to go down. It is true. We'll see if the remaining couple of players here for Heroic can hold things off. One confirmed. Down on towards CT. It's not going to be enough. They make quick work, light work of the B bomb site. Bait will get their 12th, and Heroic Where have they gone?
Yeah. And where Heroic have disappeared, one man who has reappeared is MPL. So solid, right? A great retake from him, but the calling has been excellent in terms of the pace that they're trying to set on the CT side. So fun to watch. A second tack pause taken here by Heroic, but chances are dwindling. Thankfully, they have enough money for the buy, and of course, that bomb plant definitely helps with the loss bonus, but man alive. This is a bait side that are looking great. They were my dark horse for a reason. I said bait with a stand-in. It's just bait. It doesn't matter. It's all about the system. It's about the play style. It's relentless, but it's loose. That's why I didn't think a stand-in would make too big of a difference to bait. We've watched this bait side for years now, right? And even kind of previous iterations of kind of this core, it's always been so loose that it feels like a stand-in just doesn't really affect the vibe all too much. It's can the individual shine? Yes, and if they do, then the team really shines. And that's what we're getting right now. 12 to 10. Match point bait here. To scalp Heroic to start off this tournament would be really good for them. And damning for Heroic, who really do need something out of this tournament, to be honest.
Oh. Missed shot. They're just going to move quick here. It will be an overzealous repeat for sure, but just not expecting them this fast. I don't think anyone really was. Might just be like an instant save angle. They're quite far away.
They got money.
Unless Krasnal can get something. That is a very good point,
got
though.
A lot of money.
What's the point in saving here, actually? So you might as well just go for it.
MPL's got 15k. Just may as well.
Yeah. They'll be all right. But there is that kind of like futility angle, the holding on to the AWP in particular. Headtrick will find the kill there.
Eventually. They're leaving it late, and they are going to give this a go. I mean, they're close enough that they...
Small retake.
They look tempted by it, but maybe it's more to make it expensive on the way out. We'll see. Youngster finds Alex, so that'll all but confirm things. There is a player in towards T-spawn, so something that needs to be keeping an eye out for. Xhot and Hades both go down. Oh, recovered short. I mean, money's not great, but they've got just enough of the saves that they're fine to be buying back in. Another attack pause that comes through. It's a bold call there, though. If we're being honest, by LNZ, right? It's just a full rush towards B. Just hope things work out. And thankfully, they do. Essential gets core. He probably, as he drops that smoke, Essential needs to wait for it to plume before then peeking, or change up the angle, change up the height. But instead, re-peeks in same position, and Hades was just trained. It's a bold call. It pays off. And, well, for bait, I don't even know why they don't give it more of a look in. Like we said, they've just got unlimited money.
Yeah.
Like, you may as well. Like, even if everyone dies, like, who cares?
It's probably just battling it like, kind of like we did, where it's like they see the situation, someone says save, then someone's like, wait, we've got loads of money.
Yeah.
But by then, you're already in the mindset of conceding and moving away and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
so,
like instinctively you want to save just to be safe, but
fighting those instincts feels awkward.
Yeah.
And you just don't want to give in to them necessarily.
It's a good round, though, by Heroic. Finally break this deadlock, this streak. 7 rounds in a row by bait. On this CT side, Heroic finally find one. I stay alive. LNZ is so lucky to still be alive, but it's only briefly. As Krasnal will get the trade.
He will indeed. On the unhealthy player, though, I think he wanted a nice one. Onto somebody else there. He will get out. They've given him a lot of room to do so. You feel like 3 players in upper should have been able to deal with him and get a trade, even if a little late, but they fully let him get away. Flash towards mid. Sound cues for Heroic, but no one to peek, no one to truly fight. Bait have the golden frag. It's all they need, and they have turtled up here.
Smoke down in towards CT. Could set up for kind of a mid to B split, but they'll know by how that CT smoke was thrown that they're out in mid already. It's not the box smoke, it's not the bounce smoke. They know that's just thrown up close. So you can see them a little bit tentative, hence why they're playing so far back on B. They actually don't really want to contest in towards mid anymore. It's a very spaced out CT setup, but there's not a lot of time. 20 seconds here.
Yeah, there's not a lot to go off. There's not a lot of room. Molotov comes in, should force the CT forward, but no, it was more for Sight than it was for Goose. Keen finds, he's still alive as well. He will go down on the pre-fire. Nilo big kills. He was the bomb carrier as well. What is going on? 2 on 5 directly, and they've managed to bring it back to the 2 versus 2. Youngster, unfortunately, caught with nade in hand, can't correct his crosshair, but Nilo is about to have a moment here. Hidden away, trying to play the clock, takes the wide swing, and takes us further.
Wow, Nilo, what a time for him to step up. He's had a poor map the entire way through Dust 2, but what a time to pick up a quad kill. That's made up for the slow performance all the way throughout. I gotta say, though, you're looking at... I think Krasnov does his job. It's that fight there for MPL that has to go successfully, and then Alex trying to tuck himself into his car alone. It feels like in that spot, if you are Alex, you just gotta play time there.
Let's go, boys. Guys, they're full pressure now.
Youngster's hyped.
Full pressure.
Full pressure.
We'll see what that looks like.
Yeah. Just going to fold immediately first round. So far, for Bait, I don't think it needs to be too concerned. It's just the fact that financially, it's now reset. This is the benefit they've had for, as we've been speaking about a lot, they've just had unlimited money where that's not been the case for Heroic, and that's where they've kept the pressure on and where they built up that 7 rounds in a row. Now, though, we're all set again. It's all even. They've kind of got to win it the hard way. And is it going to be similar to a Fluxo situation? Fluxo, they had 3 match points, squandered all of them. TYLOO win the series. You hope for Bait that it's not the same, but a pretty damning final round, all things considered.
Early nades out. Not anything super aggressive in terms of the peaks from the T side. The CTs going a little wild there. 2 up short, and the AWP does not know when to stop, apparently. But no one on the other end of it just yet. Thinking about the boost. Actually, indeed going to commit, so a sort of accidental fall off there, I think. Or tip of the head spotted, but no frag. Really important, I think, first round here to sort of break the deadlock.
Yeah. Bait are forced to play a little further back on short than they usually would. That's such a good flash. And, while laboured, MPL does finally get the kill on towards LNZ, but it's so laboured, in fact, that Hades can swing in for the trade. A little bit more clinical there, and it probably would have been an easy get in, get out, but not to be. Youngster stuck. No way of surviving this, surely. They are giving him the luxury of survival, though, because they're so cautious about mid. Krasnov spotted. Ascential up close. They know there's someone in towards upper tunnels. Is whether he's still there is the question. 1 HE on this B site. Youngster be dead in this round. I'd have no real chances for Heroic, but he snuck his way out. Youngster gets 1. A quick trade coming through from Krasnov. Pulls out the rifle, but he can't cock it in time to get the kill. And Hedrick left all alone. He's not retaking this. That's it.
Wow. I mean, another moment from Nilo. It's not quite as big, but a really, really key kill from him. Just throws everything up in the air. They're able to pirouette their way out on towards that B bomb site. But yeah, that's...
Why do they let
so wild.
Youngster survive?
Yes.
They've heard the dink. Like, just commit to the fight there. The only issue is that, kind of unfortunately for them, you don't want to push too far into towards tunnels, but you can at least push far enough where somebody can hold this corner here, and you can spam the boxes, and you would have been able to see him off. It just feels like leaving him alive, and obviously, they leave him alive, and he then walks out, plays contact, goes silent, gets a kill. He's left very late here, so I don't think these kills are really even going to make a difference in all honesty, and it's Nilo who sees it off. It's another multi-kill round for him, you were touching on it. Another really important one. He gets a quad kill to close out regulation and a triple kill to open OT. So a slow map is made up for it immediately within 2 rounds.
Yeah, this guy to wake up out of nowhere and then have the life game right at the tail end into the overtime. You know, suddenly you can't deal with this guy that's been no issue thus far. Could really turn the tide if he can keep it up. Absolutely wild stuff. Heroic, though, keep their little mini streak going as they move up to 13. Bait, it's tough. The headspace now is very, very tough, right? You should have closed this out. You've played well enough to close it out. You know you should have closed it out. And it's all you're going to be thinking about. And the round to get us to overtime is wild. You know, really, really difficult one to stomach. So I don't feel good about this.
No.
I do not feel good about this now. I think this really could be problematic.
I'm with you. It looks like they've fallen very flat, and Heroic have finally really woken up. And I think getting fired up, winning a massive round like that at the end, it gives you so much momentum, so much wind in the sails, and you can see it by the reaction. Youngster getting hyped, the whole team getting loud. This is what Heroic can do, and this is how they kind of bring out the best in them. It's a chunky nade there. excl and LNZ hit very, very low. But 50 seconds to decide what they want to do. The way they're set up, this just looks like a very simple pop-up short in towards the A site. Get a CT smoke down, a couple of people drop down in towards LE, and you play that in the post plan.
Well-timed Molotov. 35 seconds, so some pressure on Heroic to get a move on. Another Molotov plus the spam. This time it's going to hurt a bit more. However, MPL, yeah, not ready for that dropped player. Krasnal doesn't really know where to look. He's been tagged down. The jump shot doesn't quite make it to him. He does well to even get another from there, to be honest. Meanwhile, in at middle, Youngster has held them back. 2 versus 2 into the retake now. A big dink landing there, I think. Alex leaves Hades incredibly low, but there's just very little way into this site. Still, if you're hitting the shots, it doesn't quite matter. Hades on 4 HP against the world here, just creeping around. Where's this player gotten to? He doesn't quite know. Somehow finds that kill. You can't be serious. Headtrick also very low. The Tech 9 of Hades gets it done. And there's your stand-in.
Stand-in superb here from Hades. A heroic moment indeed. They needed him. Really, 4 points of HP in a 1 versus 2. And what a time for him to step up. He's not looked bad all map long, but that is a monster moment coming through. 4 points of HP again. He has no right to survive that, but just too much respect. And look what it means to them as well. No doubt. In the last, 3 rounds, we've seen 2 massive moments coming through. One from Nilo, that quad at the end of regulation, and that one there. It's all the momentum completely eradicated now for Bait. MPL goes ahead of the util. I was going to say that's bad, but somehow Alex makes the best out of that situation.
Yes, that might be another key moment to look back on. It felt like Heroic had the read, that they were going to get frustrated, they were going to force something in this round. Will it be worth it, though? Is it going to have the impact that it needs here for Bait? They've lost control of B. Maybe all too easily, all too quickly. Some time bought by a slow smoke from Heroic, but ultimately, this looks good. The notoriously difficult B bomb site to break back into. Youngster, patience pays off as he enacts a little bit of Bogdan's Law to get that frag. Looking for another one here as well. Potentially will go down, but he'll take a 1 and the information. So hard to get in here. Down goes Alex, and I just don't see it happening. Headtrick is desperately clutching at straws. Heroic will hit 15. A flawless first half of the overtime.
Yeah, it really, what a resurgence coming through from them. They look like a completely different side. They look even better than the decent moments we had in the first half of regulation. It wasn't a bad first half, right? 7-5, and there was some nice moments coming through, but this is a whole new lease of life for Heroic. Bait looks so flat though, right? And this is more than anything. I just think Bait are giving up so many opportunities now. You can see the effect it's having. I really can't even blame them. It's all fallen off a cliff for this Bait side. The calling looks lackluster. The individuals look lackluster as well. And it just doesn't help where you've got the flip side of Heroic. I don't think they're even calling anything too drastically incredible. It's just the individuals have stepped up tenfold. Nilo looking so good now after looking so poor for so long all the way throughout. Youngster continuing his form. Hades having his moments as well. And despite actually excl, who started really well, he's gone very quiet. It doesn't matter. They've made up for kind of that lack of firepower, I guess, in a sense. This is a great showing from Heroic. And they've got 3 opportunities now to close out the match.
Looking good. We'll see if they've got anything left up the sleeve here into overtime, of course. Been a while since they were on the CT side, but looking to fight fire with fire. It's a slower take out towards long. Oh my god. 2 blind kills while through the smoke. Like, come on, guys. That is crazy work. And it might just be exactly what the doctor ordered here. excl spots the shadow. Free as a kill that you can get. And it's all down to just 2. Bait looked so good. This was their game on a silver platter. Maybe it still is. Head trick keeping it alive.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want about bait and falling off, but head trick doesn't. That's 2 very quick shots. And Alex gets one of his own. Hang on a second. Bomb recovered. A site open. This is not an easy spot because Youngster can't really get out of CT. So puts all the onus now on excl. Smoke down towards short. Down goes Youngster as well. Head trick hitting those shots, but he's going to get caught. Less than 40 seconds. Bomb needs to be recovered and planted too. It was spilled off the death of head trick, but Alex will get it. excl doesn't hold for it.
Yeah.
So 25 seconds, the bomb will now go down in a moment, but you can see both of them are so wary of where each other can be, whether they're making some sort of move. Little do they know, neither of them have moved.
Big fan of it in a clutch. That bomb is the only known variable, so just take that out of the equation and all of a sudden you leave that lone T guessing. And excl has played it almost to perfection to just make Alex panic. It will be heroic to take things in kind of shocking fashion, to be honest with you.
I gotta agree.
Absolutely wild stuff.
Yeah, a really, really good resurgence coming through from Heroic. So impressed of actually how they recover from looking so damn weak. But for Bait, that's damning. That's quite indicative of the bad sides of Bait as well. And, well, you hate to see it. We'll throw it back onto those boys on the desk. We'll catch you in a bit.
An expertly played clutch 1v1 there by